Hey, what's up guys? It's Nick with Lean Life Revolution. We are here at one of my corporate clients today and we're going to do a seminar on scheduling workouts, sticking to your schedule, how to get stuff in the calendar, and how to stick to it. So what I thought I'd do is give you guys just a little snippet of this seminar so you can see the kind of stuff we're going over and the kind of things that help to get workouts in your schedule and keep them there. So enjoy. Things that help us with this is anything that is a capture device, right? So a capture device is anything that we use, a journal, a diary, a log, a schedule, things like that. And a schedule is a great example of a capture device, even though people don't necessarily think it is a capture device, because what we can do is we can take our anxieties and we can start to apply solutions to them on paper that we can actually visualize and see. Okay, so for the people on the webcam, I'm going to tilt this a little bit so you can see my very elementary school-esque number line here. Okay, so when I am scheduling, I want to do a schedule by hand on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper before I put it in the computer, because this exercise they go through is super beneficial. So we're going to do a 3-color coded scheduling system. Right? So my red is going to be my have-tos. Right? We'll make this a little bigger for the camera. So these are my have-tos, H2. Right? My blue is going to be my need tos, all right? And then my green is going to be my like tos, okay? So the first part of this exercise that's really hard is you got to figure out what's what, right? So have you ever like cleaned out your house or had a yard sale? By the way, can you let me know if there are any comments or anything, because I can't see my comments board here.
I would have to log in.
All right, appreciate that. He's going to be my go-to on comments.
Yep.
So like if you're having a yard sale, you've got to say, like, this thing's a keeper, this thing's a seller, and this thing's trash, right? And sometimes you can get really stuck between, like, okay, like, this chair, like, what do you think? Like, I want to sell it, you want to keep it, I want to sell it, you want to keep it. Like, we're not sure where it is, but, like, everything has a place, right? So the have-tos in your schedule, we'll start with red to keep consistent. And I know this is blurry here, so you're just going to have to be an extra good listener, all right? So my have-tos are obviously things like work, okay, my commute. So what I'm not putting in any of my have-tos, by the way, is sleep. Right? You'll see that my schedule here starts at 6 and ends at 10, just because, like, I've marked off time for sleep. Like, and realistically, sleep should be a non-negotiable. I know that we all have those phases where, like, sleep has to become negotiable, especially if you have a family. But the fact matters is, like, sleep is the one thing that should be in red kind of all the time. Like, you should have a hard start and hard stop for the day, because it's kind of like when I schedule with people and they say, like, oh, I never have time. And I'm like, all right, what time do you wake up? And they're like, oh, like 6 or 7. I'm like, that's a whole hour. Like, that's a lot of schedule time. Like that. Like, if we had a hard start at 6, like, we could create an hour, right? So we have to have a hard start. So your work, your commute, any family obligations that you have, I'll just write FO. So if you are the coach of your daughter's soccer team, you know what I mean? Or if you have to take your son to swim practice, whatever, right? Like, you have family obligations. Now, your need tos are going to be a different thing, okay? Because these are still things that have to happen. So this is going to be things like meals. Oh, I wrote meals, exercise. What's another good idea? Like something that, like, has to happen. Like, you need to do it on a day-to-day basis. Hygiene is probably going to be big. What's up? You have to shower at least semi-regularly, right? And then my like-tos. So my like-tos are things like TV. They're things like social outings. Or they're like activities that you enjoy or you really want to get to, but they're not necessarily something that's in your schedule, right? So all the way, like, reading for, like, the 8 people that still read books, even though they made them all into movies. You can see them. Why would you read them? You can see if it's a movie. Okay, so the have-tos are really tough, and they have to be first, right? Because the difference between the have-tos and the need-tos is the have-tos have a cement place in your schedule. Okay, so typically, and you guys are obviously in a great situation because you guys, most of you guys have flexible work. You can work remote, you can work from here. You know, you got to put in a certain amount of hours, and if it's 8 to 4, 5 to, whatever, right? But you have to put in those 8 hours. Okay, so what I like to do right away is I like to block out all my have-tos in red. So there's going to be like a non-negotiable. So let's say I work from 8 to 4. So right away from 8 to 4, I'm going to do a big bracket, and boom, my 8 to 4 is blocked off. Okay, now I got to think about my commute time as well. Well, let's say my commute's half an hour on each end. Let's just be super good about that. And then it only takes me half an hour to commute. Okay, So boom, that part's out of my schedule. So I no longer have to worry about that, right? Now, let's say 2 nights a week, you've got like a Little League practice you have to attend, and that's from 6 to 7 on Tuesday. So again, I have 2 off my schedule. So first I go through in red, I block off all the stuff in my schedule that is absolutely concrete that never changes. Okay? Then I go through and I do my need tos. Now the cool thing about need tos is that they can be scheduled a lot of times the same periods that are already scheduled off, so they don't take up any more time. Okay? So for instance, you might make your breakfast to go, so you have it in your commute. You eat your lunch in here, so that's kind of in there. You have a snack in here, it's kind of in there. So a lot of your need tos are also going to get taken care of, right? But your need tos have a level of flexibility. They can be done while you're doing your have tos, okay? You can't, and like the other thing that's cool is, let's say you want to get your exercise in, but we use the Little League practice idea, right? Well, you have to be at Little League practice for an hour and a half, but it's in a ball field where there's a track. Okay, great. Well, now I can get my exercise in while I'm there, okay?
Not if you're the coach.
What's up? Not if you're the coach.
If you're
If you're the coach, you gotta just be standing like this all the time, just constant motion.
Push-ups with them.
Constant motion, never hands on your legs, always hands up. You gotta always be moving, right? Not if you're the coach. Thank you for finding the hole in my plan. So, and then finally, I schedule my like tos last, okay? Now, the thing about like tos is that a lot of times we have this in our mind as like something that's adding to the schedule. So not necessarily TV or reading, but if you have like a social outing, right? Like if there's a happy hour that your friends go to every week, or if there's something going on the weekend on a regular basis. So like you have these things that you really like to do, right? Maybe it's cooking your meals for the week, which is something you really enjoy doing, but it's taking up that time in your mind, right? A lot of times we don't think about our schedule in this capacity, so this all becomes one big have-to thing, right? Whereas, if you put it down like this, and you realize, these are the things that are concrete, I can never move these are the things that I can have some flexibility with, but they fit inside my schedule, right? And then these are things I like to do, but don't need to do every day, and I can actually move around. What you do is you create these little schedule pockets, right? And once you can start to see that you have these schedule pockets, all of a sudden, it becomes really clear that like, okay, I do have time to exercise if I've done this correctly. So, at work, I have to be out the door at 7:30, which means I have to be showered and ready to go at 7. Okay? So say that's just kind of how that goes, right? Well now, I've got from 6 to 7. Okay, maybe I can't work out from 6 to 7 because I've got to get everyone else out the door, I got to get up and get ready, right? But I can put some of my other things in that slot. For instance, like I could try to go ahead and mash out whatever I need to prep for lunch, for dinner, in that kind of 1 hour. I could get everyone else's stuff done, and I can get all this knocked out in this schedule, right? So boom, now we created a block here that we're not worried about, okay? Well, I have all that knocked out, right? And then maybe I want to spend my last hour, mashing out Netflix shows that we watch, right? So, okay, I'll go 9 to 10, and we'll go ahead and map that out, right? Every time you do this, you tighten up the pocket where you can now determine, okay, here's now where there's real consistency, okay? And when you're not filling it with the stuff you like to do, if you're putting exercise in there, now you can say, okay, great. Now from 5:30 to 6:30, or from 5:30 to 6, I've got a half an hour where I'm not coaching, I'm not in the car, everyone else is occupied, I have a half an hour where I can do what I want to do, right? Or, okay, from 7 to 9, if I can get dinner done, right, and whoever else can watch the kid or whatever, I have 7 to 9 where I can go for a walk, do a workout DVD, just do something in the basement, go to the gym, whatever you want to do, right? So this is now how you do that.